Hello everyone. This is the 27th part of the story, Pērcy Jackson, the God of Magic. Chapter 131. Nyarlathotep was a mystery I really didn't want to unveil. His mere presence put me on edge, and it wasn't like Zeus or Loki, not even like Fenrir or Jormungandr. When I first met them, I felt like a prey staring to the jaws of its predator. But with him, I felt like a toy, one that belonged to a demented kid. One that I had no hope of stopping. I hate this, I muttered, holding the soul of Ares in my hand. Was he right? Would the soul of a god help me on my goal, or would I too push me down a rabbit hole of power and madness? I was deep down afraid to pick the path he was weaving for me. I knew he wanted something from me, something the me of now would never accept or think of doing, but something that the me he was creating would do. But what? The uncertainty, the unknown, the painfully obvious ignorance of his motives had me on doubt. Was my war against Olympus helping? If so, what else was I doing that unbeknownst to me helped him? Or perhaps, just perhaps I was overthinking it all, and his plans didn't have as many twists as I feared them to have. Still, I had to be careful. He was a monster, one that I had no power to stop. Compared to him, no atom, no time for self-deprecating thoughts. The important question now is, what to do with the soul of Ares? Consuming it would not only give untold power but various realms to rule, like the realm of war, violence, battle lust, and rage. On the other hand, I could ignore what my father had recommended, and use the soul to increase the limits of my world. Decisions, I chuckled, holding the soul with trepidation, when suddenly a familiar presence appeared, Loki. My, have to say, you have changed a lot, Loki chuckled, a child off the old block. Aren't you too busy being in a cave, getting a private bubble bath in poison? I snorted with disinterest. Aren't you jumpy, Loki? Or rather the illusion of Loki chuckled, look kid, I don't like you, and I don't need to be a genius to know you don't like me. Don't tell me, you are the god of obvious shit, too? I replied coldly. I wish, Loki smiled, his horribly scarred face contorting with amusement, but no. What do you want? I asked, might as well see what he wants. Offer you a helping hand, one could say, Loki hummed, I love chaos, love causing it, love what it entitles. So do what you must with what I'm about to tell you. It's not much though, so don't think what I'm about to tell you it's a game-changing thing. Get to the point, I said, growing tired of his presence. Kinda like the old you better, Loki pouted, and I glared at him, all right. Your father, he wants a gate. Most of his children have been conceived in attempts to create a functional gate. Ugganock, it's one of his most famous attempts, alas it failed. You are his most latest attempt. Ugganock? I asked, confused. One of your horrendous siblings, Loki replied offhandedly. The point is, your father wants to create a gate to our continuum. You see, the outer gods, while powerful, are trapped in the outer dimension. Most of them are unstoppable, and if they were to reach this plane of existence, nothing, and I can't stress this enough, nothing would survive in their waking. That includes your little girlfriend. The gate was for him to come to our reality? Does that mean what I had seen were merely avatars? Still doesn't make sense. I would never allow him into this reality. Why would I? You might not have an option, Loki shrugged. Anyway, that was all I wanted to convey. Why help me? First you almost kill me, and now you are helping me. I asked him. Well, you know what they say about crazy people. We do crazy stuff. Loki laughed. Besides, where is the fun in making sense? With that, the magical construct the god of mischief had sent disappeared, leaving me with even more questions. I guess the bastard was right, I chuckled, holding the soul of Ares close to my mouth. I do need this, if I plan to survive, that is. With that said, I proceeded to consume the soul of the god of war, not before adding some ketchup to it. I was a monster with class, gotta make it tasty. The change within me was immediate. with my power skyrocketing like an uncontrollable fire. I guess in a way Aries got what he wanted, to be inside of me, I laughed, as I marveled at my new power. Odin point of view. Aries had been defeated, and Adam had consumed his soul, gaining a much-needed power-up, but at what cost? Consuming a god was not like consuming a monster. Personality traits from Aries would remain in him. The stronger the soul, the stronger its will to live by any means necessary. Even surviving meant to change the new host, even a bit. Odin, Hestia greeted as she entered my study. I have a question. Oh, sure, what is it? I smiled. Later I would have the time to ponder over the consequences of Adam and his actions. How do you know if you are in love? Hestia asked shyly. A friend would like to know. Really, a friend? Was that the best she could come up with? Well, my knowledge, while vast, doesn't cover such things, but I have just the goddess to answer you. I smiled. Freya. If someone can help your friend, it's her. I winked. Thanks. Hestia nodded, hiding a light blush as she walked out of my room. What an interesting turn of events. Hestia is coming to accept her feelings. It seems my role checkmating Nyarlathotep is becoming vastly easier. It's almost poetic how things are unfolding themselves. It's almost like the Beauty and the Beast. Chapter 132. Consuming Aries had given me an extraordinary amount of power, but every bit of power and how I had obtained would have consequences. Aries' soul had affected me in a spiritual way. I felt more aggressive, more prone to fight without reason, which was already a problem in my life. But this was nothing new. I knew beforehand that the souls affected me. Of course, they had never done it like this, but this was the soul of a god that I had just consumed. I will make a mental note not to eat any more gods unless it is extremely necessary. I laughed sarcastically before teleporting back to my world in order to discuss with Athena what was next on the list. With a quick sigh, I snapped my fingers and teleported back to my world, where Athena and Honey were both waiting for me. Athena with an expression of complete surprise, and Honey with one of happiness. Adam, I see your mission was a success. Athena complimented me, but something in her voice sounded hollow. Congratulations. I looked at the goddess for a second, making a mental reminder to investigate her attitude later. It was difficult, but I managed it, I replied with a grin. You were super cool. Honey proclaimed, lunging towards me for a hug. I loved your ultimate form. I took pictures for the lonely nights this little horny succubus has to suffer. The horny succubi winked at me, kissing my cheek playfully. With your current power, only Poseidon, Hades, Hera and Zeus can fight against you, Athena informed me. Zeus still surpasses you in power, the others. I believe they are below you. I see, I replied, noticing that I didn't feel Hestia in my world. Where was she? Where is Hestia? I asked with curiosity. In Asgard, apparently she had questions that I couldn't answer, Athena replied, her tone firm and cold. I definitely need to investigate her later. For security reasons, I recommend that you don't let them move around so much. Someone could attack her as she moves between realms, the goddess of wisdom suggested, her tone borderline angry. I looked at her for a second and said, Hestia is free to do as she pleases. Next time you try to recommend me or even suggest that I cage her, it will be the last time I consider you an ally. Is that clear, Athena? I all but growled. Crystal, Athena nodded. Very wise of you, I snorted, teleporting to Asgard to find Hestia to get my daily dose of hugs and homemade food. Besides, we were already late for our maniacal laugh time. Hestia point of view. I looked at Freya and asked again, are you absolutely sure? I am, Freya nodded, as she preened her wings with her hands. You love him, whether you do something about it or not. It's up to debate. I can see you have a deep fear of falling in love, and what that brings, but the truth is, you love him. I wasn't supposed to love anyone, not in this way. I can't, I muttered, tears dripping down my eyes. Love is beautiful if both parties actually love each other, Freya assured me. I've seen what love does to others. I almost shouted, love destroyed my family, love hurt my mother, love hurt my sisters, love hurt my brothers, and now love will hurt me, and worse, Adam. Do you really think you will hurt him? Freya snorted, sweetie, you don't have a bad bone in your body, which is weird, we gods tend to be assholes, me included. Pretty straightforward, I chuckled, wiping a few tears. I call them like I see them, Freya shrugged. I have done awful shit in the past, and so have Odin, and Thor, and Frigg, and almost every god, you just happen to be one of the exceptions in our fucked up society. I'm not that good, not as Adam thinks, I sighed. I might not have hurt others directly, but I never did anything to stop my brothers and sisters from doing it. I could've, but I never did. And that shit is not your problem, Freya rolled her eyes at me. I have killed thousands if not millions, and that's my sin. Not Odin's, not Frigg's, not Thor's. Well, maybe Thor does have some fault, but the point is, you don't have to blame anything they did on you. Adam says the same, I smiled. That kid is like a nuclear waste Hestia, Freya chuckled. He radiates love for you, and only for you. He likes Odin, and thinks of Thor as his weird best friend, but you, love, pure love, to the point he doesn't consider himself worthy of you. That is something you don't find offend. He is a nice kid, I admitted, the one person in all of creation who had put me first on anything. It felt nice to be appreciated, to be heard. His love is pure, and so is yours, Freya smiled. What you two do with it, it's up to the two of you, isn't that right, Adam? Wait. What? Wait, hold on a friggin' nugging baking minute. What? Adam point of view. When I teleported to Asgard, Odin left a very strange note exactly where I teleported, or so I thought. The whole place had notes. The point is, the note said, go to Freya, use a spell to camouflage yourself, and hear their conversation. A very strange request, but what that hell, ADYMIDUB DNA eknaserp, I whispered, hiding myself within a cloak of magic. Whatever it was Odin wanted me to hear sounded important. That or the Norse god was trolling me, once again. Alright, time to see what Hestia is doing. In a very creepy way, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I swear to God, if they are having a bath together, I will kill Odin for setting me up like that. As I approached the room where Hestia and Freya were, I started to hear some voices. Are you absolutely sure? Hestia asked her. I am, Freya replied. You love him, whether you do something about it or not, it's up to debate. I can see you have a deep fear of falling in love, and what that brings, but the truth is, you love him. Wait. Hestia is in love? I thought feeling like I wanted to kill someone. No, Adam, if she actually loves someone, you have to support her by welcoming the guy with a shotgun to TH. With warm hug, we'll have to work on that. Their conversation continued with some parts being entirely muted. Not that I was paying too much attention, I mean, here I was trying to hold down my jealousy, stupid feeling, we had nothing, but I suppose I made myself believe she would never love anyone like that, and well, I was okay with that. Ain't that selfish? I'm not that good, not as Adam thinks, Hestia sighed. I might not have hurt others directly, but I never did anything to stop my brothers and sisters from doing it. I could've, but I never did. And that shit is not your problem, Freya chuckled. I have killed thousands if not millions, and that's my sin. Not Odin's, not Frigg's, not Thor's. Well, maybe Thor does have some fault, but the point is, you don't have to blame anything they did on you. Damn right. Adam says the same, Hestia smiled. I mean, I guess I can't see her. But the point was, Freya was right, it wasn't her fault, she was the best of them all. Granted, is not a big accomplishment considering everyone in her family sucks, but still. That kid is like a nuclear waste Hestia, Freya chuckled. He radiates love for you, and only for you. He likes Odin, and thinks of Thor as his weird best friend, but you, love, pure love, to the point he doesn't consider himself worthy of you. That is something you don't find offend. Wait, Thor has another best friend, and he's hitting on Hestia. I feel betrayed. He's a nice kid, Hestia admitted, her voice sounding happier than ever. His love is pure, and so it's yours, Freya stated. What you two do with it, it's up to the two of you, isn't that right, Adam?
Oh.
I am in deep shit, am I? Quack. In times of panic, quack. Wait a minute, processing information, data extracted. Hestia loves me? Fuck the other imaginary guy. Adam. Hestia shouted. This is not Adam, this is a duck. I mean quack. I shouted back. Chapter 133. Hestia flung the door open harshly, her flaming hair clearly showing that she was not at all happy that I had been listening in on their conversation. Adam. Hestia said, narrowing her eyes at me. Quack, transformed into a duck as any man in my position would do, I quacked. I had, after all, to keep the flawless facade. I was nothing but a duck, and she wouldn't notice. Adam. I won't cook you for a month if you keep this up. Hestia threatened, and I immediately returned to my normal form. A man needs his food. I know this looks bad, but... And I had nothing, okay? I have no excuse, sorry for doing this. In my defense, Odin set me up, old bastard. You heard everything, didn't you? Hestia inquired, her eyes turning to the sides, averting my gaze. Enough, I sighed. Adam, I don't know if I can do this, Hestia muttered. I'm not sure I can. I looked at her and smiled. It's okay, I assured her. I know, don't worry. If only she knew how much I wanted to be with her. How much I wanted to simply lie down next to her on the couch or a bed, wrapping my arms around her, brushing her hair while watching a movie, or maybe just sleeping together. But not in the fuck sense. I wasn't against the idea, sure, but that's not what I wanted from her. What I really wanted was to sleep together in the most innocent sense of the phrase. Adam, Hestia muttered in shock, and I got confused. Why was she so shocked? With curiosity, I followed her gaze and noticed all I was thinking, every single thought related to her, was there, floating above my head. What in the actual fuck? See? Freya chuckled. The kid is one in a million, a man that doesn't think with his dick, and what a nice dick he has. She was reading my ma. What a minute, how does she know I have a nice dick? Wait, can I even say I have a nice dick? Is that gay? I need answers. How do? I was cut off by Freya, who answered by materializing a pot of honey. So, just the same? Hestia giggled. I can do that, watching movies with you, making evil plans. I can handle that, and if things ever change, it will be because we were both ready. Hestia, as long as you keep being my best friend, my pillar, I don't care. I knew the moment I realized I fell for you that my chances were close to zero, and I was okay with it. All I want is for you to be happy, and some cookies. I winked at her. You truly are unique, Hestia chuckled. I can hook you up with some cookies, courtesy of the mighty Hestia. I give you 2 a month or 2, Freya stated. You two are like 2 pieces of a nerdy puzzle that just fits. Maybe 3 months depending on the war. Okay. Hestia chuckled. Oh, by the way, tell Odin. I am coming for him. That old man had it coming, and he would now get his, and he would not see it coming. Odin wanted me to give you this, Freya chuckled, giving me a note. I will see it coming, but bring it in, bitch, Odin. I hate him, I sighed. Thank you for understanding me, Hestia hugged me. Forever and always, Hestia, I smiled, hugging her back. I can't say I will be ready anytime soon, perhaps I never will, but... Just don't ever leave me alone, I don't want to be alone again, Hestia muttered, tears rolling down my chest. I can't take being alone anymore, not being heard, not being important to anybody. Hestia, I will never ever do that, I assured her. Besides, you are the only one that can handle my problematic pranking ass. It is indeed a very pranking ass, Hestia nodded between giggles. Indeed, I chuckled. A very good ass, Freya said dreamily. Okay, let's go, I chuckled, teleporting a glaring Hestia away from Freya, the target of her glare. Odin point of view. As soon as Adam left, I teleported to Freya and asked, so, how long do you give them before they fall for each other? More? Freya snorted, I think the question is, how long before they actually start being a couple? At that I nodded, sorry, I just, kinda ship them. Well, at much, I give them a few months before Hestia gives in, Freya chuckled, she's the one that needs to accept her feelings fully. Good, I sighed, everything was going according to my plan. Odin, the kid, his heart, his soul, they are almost gone, Freya stated, sending a glare my way. His aura was downright terrifying, a part of him wanted to rip me apart. The kid is hanging on a thread, a fragile one at that. I know, I nodded, Hestia is the reason he has yet to show what his father wants him to be. It scares me, Freya admitted, how something so pure has turned so dark, it's unsettling. I see him, and I see death walking amongst us, I see Hestia and I see a kind soul, and when he looks at her, that kindness soothes the beast inside of him. But for how long will this last? For how long before that kid just embraces what is inside him? He's not ready to face his reality, I stated, one day he would. I had seen it, in 2 possible timelines, out of 10 million ones, so there was still a chance, a 0.00001999998% chance of avoiding the end of times. He will get better. Eventually, he will learn and grow, and one day he will have to face his demons instead of perpetually running away from them. But for now, Hestia is the key to his inner victory or his outdoing. I will never understand why you risk so much for a kid we barely know, Freya sighed. Chapter 134. After Freya revealed my true emotions to Hestia, I felt lighter, not because I thought Hestia was going to give me a chance. The chances of that were systematically null, but because I no longer had to pretend I didn't love her like that. And in a more selfish thought, I liked the idea that if she ever decided to try something, it would be with me, and with no one else. As the war coming up, well, some things were starting to move in my favor, with more and more minor gods pledging their alliances with me. As for the things that weren't going in my favor, well, I was called by the Council of Rome to face their judgment for starting a war while connected with them. I suppose in a way, I can understand them. I was their supposed god of magic, one that not only had neglected his job with them but had also started a war with their alter egos without even notifying them. So,
Yeah.
if I were them, I would also be mad, anyway. Jupiter was, at least according to the letter he sent, quite conflicted and angry with my decision, and had sent a letter full of passive-aggressive rage that somehow had been quite respectful. So seeing they didn't insult me or anything, I agreed to their invitation to face the Council of Rome. Of course, I took some precautions, like sending a magical construct that looked and felt exactly like me, one that I would remotely control to see what they wanted. With a smile, I teleported my construct to the Roman Pantheon. At my arrival, I was greeted by Mars and Phoebus, who both escorted me to the council room, where Diana, Jupiter and Juno awaited for me. Adamus, god of magic, god of Rome, you stand here for the crimes of starting a war without the approval of the council. How do you plead? Jupiter spoke as soon as I entered the room, his voice echoing in the room. God, someone needs to fix that echo. It's annoying. Guilty, I nodded, hearing my own voice echoing across the room. Someone really needs to fix that, wondering what would follow next. In accordance to the council, for breaking the rules, we hereby strip you of your realms, Jupiter declared, and I snorted. This had to be a joke, a bad one at that. The realm you guys gave me? I asked, trying to make sure I was hearing them correctly. Every realm within your possession, Diana answered, and at that, I kept my composure, and, who am I kidding? I laughed like a bastard, which is accurate. I am a bastard, a godly bastard, a sexy one at, okay, Adam, stop sucking your own dick. Back to the problem at hand, were they being serious? I looked at them and realized they were motherfuckers. Look, Jups, I apologize for ignoring my duties. I really do, though those duties were never disclosed to me, but still, I am sorry, but if you think I will give you my realms just because you and your council are throwing a temper tantrum, then guess again, I challenged. The moment you joined our pantheon, you agreed to be under my reign, Jupiter stated, his eyes fixed into mine. By that, any and all realms you have with you belong to the Council of Rome, and by extension, me, now hand over the realms of magic, war, violence, wisdom. He kept going on, listing the realms I had, without missing one. I see, I sighed. Well, allow me to elaborate upon my last statement, because it seems you can't understand me, Jupiter. If you want my realms, you are free to get them, off my cold dead hands, that is. Child, don't start anything. Mars, the Roman counterpart of Ares, growled, we are giving you a peaceful choice, give up your realms, and leave. Frankly, I find the fact you guys think I will accept this somehow more insulting than Dionysus thinking he had a chance against me. I laughed. Oh well, it was a good run here. At that I stood up from my chair and waved at the council, let's keep in touch. Your insolence knows no bounds, Juno sighed, and the next thing I know is that my magical construct had a hole on his chest. A magical construct, crafty. She tickled her tongue, annoyed. I apologize you didn't pierce the real me, I deadpanned. You don't want to have us as enemies, kid, Mars sighed, and, well, I was astonished. Mars and Ares had nothing in common, at all. You broke the rules. Rules that were never given to me, but okay. I gestured him to continue spotting his stupid points. Very well, Jupiter spoke, getting my attention. From this day forward, you are banished from Rome.
Oh no.
The place I ignored till now is out of my reach. Whatever shall I do? You are no longer welcomed here. Okay, I shrugged, destroying the construct in a violent explosion of confetti and pink glitter. Why? Well, because I will always have the last laugh. Diana point of view. I looked at father, who was covered like everyone in the room, head to toes in pink glitter and confetti that said in bright letter, I am a slutty god, and I couldn't help but wonder, why did he agree to let him go? Why banish him, instead of killing him? Father, why did you let him go? I asked, trying but failing to eliminate the confetti and glitter of my body. Because I am not sure I can beat him, Jupiter admitted, shocking everyone present. This was my attempt to bring him down, my attempt to weaken him. Alas, I failed, he chuckled. Surely you jest. Mars spoke up, he can't by any means take on all of us, and while I can believe he is on your level, at the very least, I don't think he can deal with all of us at once. Sure, we could take him. Jupiter nodded. In numbers, the uncertainty about if I can beat him or not would go away, but he's not alone, is he? Thor, Odin, Sun Wukong. So why even try? We would be bringing a violent war to our doors, one that we have no chance of winning. So, we just banish him? I asked, still shocked. We closed a chapter with him, unprovoked. The kid is harmless, a sleeping lion if you wish, kick the lion and you will hear him roar, Jupiter stated, making me wonder, was Adam such a big threat? Besides, if his family decided to help him, we would stand no chance. Chapter 135. After the Rome incident I was left thinking, was Jupiter a threat? Was he something I had to prepare to face in the long run? Or would he actually let me be as long as I didn't intrude within his pantheon again? Not gonna lie. I was a bit tired. I already had a 3-way war, and now there was a chance of this war becoming a 4-way war, a gangbang war. A bit sexual, but everyone gets the problem. I suppose I can hire Heimdall to spy their movements. He did say he would do anything for a bag of Doritos. I hummed, wondering why specifically a bag of Doritos. I was more of a Pringles guy myself, but whatever. Oh great savior, the fuck? Well that's it, I finally lost it. 1 year without pranking and now I'm hearing voice, oh great violent Jesus. Saves us with your divine kick. Bring forth the kick of salvation, violent Jesus. Yep, I lost it. Adam, is everything all right? Odin asked, looking at me with some concern. I am hearing voices. They still haven't told me to kill you all, so I guess it's benign, I chuckled, as the voices continued. The name of our Savior is Adam, Almighty One. Bring forth the violent cleansing to our souls. I see, Odin nodded, slowly walking away from me, while pulling out his phone and marking 911. Really? I snorted, oh great violent one. Bring thy pranking might to our souls. I have been waiting for this setup for years. Odin chuckled, and those voices? Totally normal, it means the humans worshipping you actually think you are real, as in, they believe in you above anything else. I have worshippers? When? Humans don't know about me. Adam, all a new religion needs, is a human with a strong conviction to worship its God. Odin smiled. One human starts a tsunami of change, and that's what humans call the power of faith. Alone they are weak, and unworthy of our presence. But together, those little creatures can reach us, affect us and more. It's both fascinating and mildly terrifying, he admitted with a chuckle. Okay, cool, but you are not getting the point. The only times I interact with humans is when I have too much sexual stress. Unless, no, that sounds about right. So what? I fucked those women.
So?
Good they started a religion? You know what, that doesn't sound bad. I actually feel flattered.
Yeah.
No, Odin snorted. Was he insinuating my game was weak? I think it's best if you go and check for yourself. Fine, I sighed, focusing on the voices back again, locating their source. No idea why I didn't do that to begin with, but whatever. Well, Odin was right. Apparently one human is more than enough to start a religious cult, or a church. Then again, I'm half outer god, half Greek, so, half cult, half temple. Anyway, the point was that the crack addict I had almost killed while trying to find Ares to recover Zeus's master bolt had started a religion in my name, and what's more surprising was that, according to the pamphlets, there was one church in almost every state in the US. First, how? I met the guy a year or so ago. How the fuck does he starts a religion and spreads that shit like an STD on drugs so fast? And 2, how come I didn't see this shit before? Is this your first time in the Church of Our Lord? A random lady asked, and I nodded. Wonderful, I hope his mighty kick enlightens your soul like it did with me. What? I think this is the first time in my life I feel so confused yet intrigued, and based on that, I decided to stay, and little by little as the sermon, or whatever it is priests do in church do, my wild confusion morphed into amusement. Apparently, I would descend and roundhouse kick those ready to ascend a higher plane. Do you have any idea how ridiculously hilarious that sounds? And that is why. The priest stopped mid-sentence, the man I had almost killed with a single kick. He stopped talking and looked at me, and in tears he kneeled. There goes my incognito mode. You grace us with your presence. Yep. Well, you know what? Maybe not. It's not like people automatically believe him. My lord. Every single one of them kneeled a few seconds after the man said that. Well, I had my fun, I sighed, snapping my fingers and sending everyone but the priest to sleep. My lord. I have devoted my life to you, the ex-crackhead said, his eyes shining with devotion. So, kicking? I chuckled. You kicked my demons away. Oh, mighty one. This is weird. All right, just don't tell others violence is the answer. I mean it is, no math teacher can grade a test if he's dead. But the point is, I don't want people starting shit in my name.
Oh no.
Of course not, your magnificence. The priest shook his head. We know only you can bring forth the cleansing violence. We are but boxing bags full of sins waiting for your mighty uppercut or kick to clean our souls. We must spread the peace, so that you can violently clean our souls.
Meh.
Good enough, I shrugged. They should be waking up in a minute or two. I made so they had dreams of me kicking the shit out of them. It felt fitting. Until next time, I waved, heading towards the door. Oh, and before I forget, with him starting a religion in my name, I felt it was my duty to give him something, which is why I cured him of everything. And by everything I meant everything drugs did to his body. Oh, the pleasures of magic, you should feel better. I thank you, my lord, but if you have time, I have one request. If permitted, this lowly servant of yours wants to ask something. I kind of feel like I need to say no homo. Should I say no homo? Sure shot, I nodded. Can you cure little Timmy? At that the priest opened a door, and a kid in a wheelchair entered the room. His life energy was so low. No wonder I didn't put him to sleep like the rest. He is quadriplegic, and has every cancer known to man. Holy shit. How is that possible? I asked, losing my cool. He even has some types of cancers doctors have no idea how to call. What in the actual fuck? And that's not the worst part. It's not. He also somehow has every other disease known to man, and he's blind. Okay, that can't be real. I stated, scanning the kid with my magic. And holy shit, it's real. Holy, how is he still alive? He even had hepatitis A through Z, and yes, I know there aren't that many hepatitises. His parents are anti-vax. Oh well, that explains it. Can you heal me? Timmy asked, pushing his frail disease-ridden body. Of course, then I will curse your parents, I nodded, moving my hand forward to heal him. Can you kick me? What? I want to be healed with the mighty kick of my lord. I don't like this anymore. Sure, why not, fuck it, I sighed, charging my foot with healing magic before I kicked the kid through a wall. Roadhouse. I can see. Timmy shouted from the street. I was a good god. This marks the end of part 27 of the story Pērcy Jackson, the God of Magic. Thank you for listening. Please like the video and hit the subscribe button to listen more. Hit the bell icon to get notified of all the new content uploaded to the channel ASAP.